establish his dominance. He'll try to do that against Kenny Florian for the 155-pound title.
Yeah, it's a really interesting situation, Mike. We've seen the evolution of Kenny Florian. He's really developed into a full-fledged mixed martial arts contender, but he's taking on the very best in the division. Make no mistake about it, B.J. Penn, even though he was trounced by GSP, is a monster at 55. Kenny Florian, we've seen his transform his body with a strength and conditioning program. We've seen the evolution of his competition. Destruction of a guy like Joe Stevenson in his last fight. He's as good as he's gonna get.
Let's find out all night long who you, our great fans, think will win our main event of the evening. You can vote online at UFC.com or on your cell phone by texting 1 for Penn, 2 for Florian to 88222. Our text voting brought to you by Bout. So we have the title fight in the lightweight division on the line, and we have the former light heavyweight champion taking on the present-day middleweight champion at 205 pounds.
That's an outstanding matchup because we're going to see Anderson Silva fight against the very biggest light heavyweight there is and the former champion. Anderson Silva, pound for pound, in my opinion, the most skillful fighter on the planet. The real question in this fight is that going to be enough to deal with the much larger, very aggressive Forrest Griffin? Forrest Griffin is an underdog in this fight, and in my opinion, he fights best when he's an underdog.
Forrest Griffin, Anderson Silva, our co-main event of the evening, and you, our fans, can go beyond the octagon, powered by our friends at Burger King. You can go to UFC.com all night long. You can get live access inside the locker rooms of B.J. Penn, Kenny Florian, and Forrest Griffin as they prepare for their fights, and follow the octagon girls throughout what should be another historic evening. So they are ready, the fans are ready, and so is the big dog, who is set to take on the Spider in what should be a very entertaining matchup, amongst many great matchups with some New Jersey kids on the card here in Philadelphia tonight.
The Spider, the always dangerous Hawaiian and winner of the Ultimate Fighter, returns to the octagon to face off against Ricardo Almeida. The big dog from New Jersey is one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners in the UFC today. Our rules of the octagon are brought to you by Bout, an expression of combat known worldwide, now available at tapout.com.
Tonight's UFC 101 declaration from Wachovia Center is available in high definition. We begin in the lightweight division as New Jersey's own Kurt Pellegrino, Batman, battles longtime UFC veteran, the dentist from Iowa, Josh Neer. Batman, Kurt Pellegrino. Now is the time. Pellegrino has talked about, Joe, how he wins a couple of fights on the undercard, then he comes into the main TV show and he loses. He's tired of winning 2 and losing 1. He has taken his training to a new level, and he wants to really start his meteoric rise tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he really has done a lot of different things in his career now. He's trained a lot in Boston. He's been working with Kevin Kearns on his strength and conditioning, working with Kenny and Florian, working with Miguel Torres, really trying to take it and kick it up to the next level. He's a very talented guy, but he's very aware of the inconsistencies in his performance, and he's taken some big steps to try to rectify that.
Kevin Kearns said the conditioning program for this fight tonight was called the Fear for Near program, because what Kurt said to Coach Kearns is that he wanted the toughest program ever. He wanted to really come and establish himself tonight as a true contender at 155, plus the fact he's from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. And so being here in Pennsylvania tonight is like fighting almost in his hometown.
And sometimes that's good, but sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it puts a lot of extra pressure on a fighter because they realize how many of their friends are in attendance, and that can be a detriment.
Here's how many friends. It's 75 miles from Belmar, New Jersey, which is where he is training now. He says, and I quote, he helped distribute 287 tickets to friends and family. No, he did not pay for them, but he helped to distribute them. So there's a lot of Robins in attendance tonight to support Batman, Kurt Pellegrino. Wow. I know that you and I don't have that many friends. Well, you do, but I don't.
I have that many friends on MySpace.
True that.
And on Twitter.
I have that many on Twitter now because of you. Kurt Pellegrino.
What is your address again?
I'm not
Get
saying.
some more.
MFG 16.
There we go. I'm Joe Rogan, DOTNET on Twitter.
And don't forget, Dana White will be on Twitter tonight as well, giving you his thoughts. Pellegrino has a ton of respect for his opponent tonight. Truly one of the toughest dudes to ever compete in mixed martial arts. 25 official MMA wins, over 100 amateur fights. 26-year-old Josh Neer returns to the octagon here tonight in Philly.
Yeah, you know, he should have a ton of respect for this guy. This kid is tough as nails and an incredible amount of experience behind him. You know, you said 25-7-1 is his record, but he's got so many amateur MMA bouts as well. I mean, just a tremendous amount of seasoning. Tough as nails, and we saw it in his last fight where he pounded on Max Danzig and eventually submitted him with a triangle choke. He is just as dangerous on the ground as he is standing up. And he's a real test for anyone at 155 pounds. This is a big fight tonight for Kurt Pellegrino. Josh Neer is an animal.
Josh Neer single-handedly talked a lot of would-be fighters out of competing in mixed martial arts. He was one of the old-school Militich guys who, when would-be fighters came through the doors in Bettendorf, Iowa, Pat Militich a lot of times would say, all right, go spar with Josh Neer. Well, at the end of about 7 to 10 minutes, those guys didn't want to be fighters anymore.
Yeah, a lot of guys don't want to be fighters. They just want to beat people up. But sometimes when you're fighting, you're the hammer. Sometimes you're the nail. And most people don't want to be the nail.
The hammer's evident. Josh Neer looking to nail Kurt Pellegrino tonight. As we mentioned, you can go to twitter.com/Dana White UFC. UFC president will give his thoughts throughout the evening. The move to lightweight for Josh Neer continues. This will be his 4th fight in the UFC lightweight division. Our tail of the tape for our first fight of the night, brought to you by the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon, Harley-Davidson. Pellegrino, 4 years older, 3 inches shorter. The reach virtually identical. To officially get us started, here is the veteran voice, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Wachovia Center in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, for UFC 101. And now, it's time to begin our first bout of the evening. 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 19 wins with 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 154 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Point Pleasant, New Jersey, Kurt Batman Pellegrino. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 25 wins, 7 losses, and 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 155 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Des Moines, Iowa, Josh the Dentist Neer. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Dan Mergliotta.
Dan Mergliotta in control of the action for our first fight of the night. The beautiful Ariani. Logan and Natasha here tonight. Natasha making her UFC debut. UFC 101 declaration.
Are you ready?
Neer.
Are you ready? Let's go fight, guys.
Against Pellegrino. First round of this fight brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. Now available at tapout.com. Red trunks for Neer. Blue trunks for Pellegrino. Batman gets tagged early. And returns the favor
by Pellegrino.
Neer will stand and slug with anybody. Loves a good brawl. Pellegrino won't shy away from it.
Pellegrino looking for the takedown, gets stuck by Neer. He's caught in a guillotine. He's got big
slam by Kurt Pellegrino.
Very nice, but Pellegrino's got to be careful. Josh Neer dangerous off his back. Submitted Mac Danzig with a triangle off his back in his last fight. Pellegrino passes to half guard. Neer is working butterflies.
Neer made the mention of how he believes people have still judged his ground game by what they saw Joe early in his career. And he said, yeah, at that point it was pretty average, but he's worked on his ground game diligently over the last few years. And as you mentioned, it is well above average.
Yeah, he's very well-rounded, especially at this point in his game. To submit Mac Danzig off your back, Mac Danzig is a very talented ground fighter. And
just underway.
I think he caught Mac Danzig by surprise with how good his ground game is, especially off of his back. You know, a lot of guys are good on top. It's whether or not you're good on the back. That's what really comes into play. That's what makes a difference between a high-level ground fighter.
And as you mentioned, Pellegrino improving his jiu-jitsu with Kenny and Keith Florian at Florian Mixed Martial Arts.
Kurt is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but you know, he stumbled a bit in his past as well. Nate Diaz submitted him with a triangle.
Well, Kurt and Hermes Franca were, you know, virtually inseparable for a while, and that's who awarded Pellegrino his black belt, the veteran Hermes Franca. But Pellegrino training near home again in New Jersey.
Josh very active off his back. He's got wrist control on the right arm of Pellegrino. Kurt can't be too casual about this. He can get locked up, and there he does.
Trying to slam his way out of it, and he does, though, Joe.
He slammed his way out of it, but that should have given him a nice message. You can't get casual with Josh Neer's ground game. Look out for his leg. He's got to get his leg out of there, and he does.
Beautiful! Get those hips down!
His corner calling for him to, you know, lose the space between the hips. Work the hips now. Looking for underhooks. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Good right hand by Pellegrino. Josh Neer is attacking off the back though, Mike, and especially in the first round, that's what's really important because they're not slippery yet. You know, when it gets into that second round and everyone gets all sweaty and slippery, in the first round, submissions, you can catch a lot more submissions than you can in the later rounds.
Pellegrino talked about Josh Neer, said he's a super tough dude, talented kid, definitely the toughest test so far in his fighting career.
Without a doubt. Pellegrino passed to half guard here, but Neer is real good at recovering it. Watch his butterfly guard, Mike. He pushes on the hips, and he gets that knee in between and right away. He regains guard. That left knee is the key. The left knee is what's separating him.
He's ripped so many opponents apart on the feet that, as I mentioned earlier, you often forget about the versatility of Josh Neer.
Well, you see how good his ground game is here because Kurt Pellegrino is excellent.
No question.
And Kurt is unable to do anything much from the top, landing a few punches, but he's constantly defending himself.
11 career wins by submission, 11 of his 19 career wins. Kurt Pellegrino.
Neer looks very comfortable here.
Both men have victories over Mac Danzig in their career. Pellegrino did it in the WEC in 2002. And Neer coming off that win, as Joe mentioned, over Mac Danzig in Tampa at Ultimate Fight Night.
30 seconds, Josh, 30 seconds.
Final 30 seconds of the first round.
Work.
Both men really, Joe, are looking for a level of consistency. Both have been hot and cold inside the octagon. One man's 4-4, the other's 5-3, but they both have the talent to go on a run.
Yeah, I agree, and that's one of the things that makes this fight interesting. Is because one guy's going to move forward, and one guy's going to be stuck. Pellegrino on top, that plays a lot into the judge's hands. Wasn't able to do much from that position, but he was on top for most of the round. And Josh Neer looks upset.
Joe, as we mentioned earlier, twitter.com/Dana White UFC. Round 2. You heard the corner of Josh Neer saying, don't be afraid to keep it on the feet for a while if you can, because you can clean him up on the feet. Keith Florian cornering Kurt Pellegrino tonight. He'll also be in the corner of his brother Kenny Florian with his title shot later tonight in our main event of the evening.
Good leg kick by Neer.
Kurt's got a lot of respect for the power of Josh Neer. You can see it.
Josh is not just powerful, he's very versatile in his stand-up.
Do not lower that head, Florian says.
Good right hand by Neer, good kick. Good combo by Kurt Pellegrino.
Pellegrino finished that last combo and hung the hands and almost ate one, though.
Pellegrino looking for the takedown. Easily shrugged off by Neer. Good right hand by Pellegrino, very nice. Now he shoots. He's got a hold of that single. Let's see if he can turn the corner.
Josh Neer has only been stopped once.
He's got it.
In his professional fighting career.
He gets him down. Kurt Pellegrino on top again.
33 professional fights.
Elbow back, elbow back.
3.5 remains in round 2.
Josh Neer is looking for things from the bottom, looking for triangles. He doesn't just have a guard where he's sitting there laying and holding on. He's looking to attack.
Kurt's looking to proudly represent the Jersey Shore,
man. He's got to get out of this guard position and look to get to a dominant spot, but obviously easier said than done. He's trying to stack Josh, but Josh, there he goes. Josh with the feet on the hips. You know, such a tricky guard Josh Neer has. You really got to appreciate this from a technical level. Pellegrino keeps trying to pass, but Josh Neer is just doing such a good job of regaining guard. Good right hands from the top by Pellegrino. He's got to do more of that. He's got to soften Neer up. Neer's got a lot of scar tissue on his face, trying to bust some of that open.
Just past the midway point of the fight. Good elbows from the bottom.
Yeah, and Pellegrino's got to be careful of those because he can get cut.
Well, he knows about elbows from the bottom, training with Kenny Florian. Some of the most vicious elbows in the game. 2 minutes remains in round 2.
Josh took a look up at the big screen to try to find the time. He knows he's on his back this round again, and probably, if you look at the scorecard, that means 2 rounds in the hole. He's looking down that armbar again, but this time Josh Neer takes the advice of his corner, Kurt Pellegrino takes the advice of his corner and doesn't let it get sunk in deep. Triangle attempt again. Pellegrino trying to turn out of it and use it to pass.
Good hammer fist, Joe.
He's trying to pass here, Mike. In the middle of this triangle attempt, what he's trying to do is get to side control, but he's got to be careful he doesn't get caught. You know, real crafty guard by Josh Neer, very crafty.
UFC 101 declaration.
And let me tell you something, it's very tiring when you're trying to constantly pass a guy's guard, but he keeps stuffing it.
Tonight, Philadelphia. In a couple of weeks, Portland, Oregon, Rose Garden, The Natural against Minotauro Nogueira. Randy Couture here tonight, live on pay-per-view in North America. Check your listings internationally.
Okay, Mounts, he went for a triangle. He went for a Kimura attempt from the bottom. Kurt Pellegrino countered and got full mount.
Pellegrino said he's in the best shape of his fighting career. Now he's got his back.
He's got his back.
Hooks in. Looking to finish with 40 seconds remaining in round 2.
He's got under control. It's very difficult to control and finish a really good guy, though, with these gloves on. And Neer has excellent defense.
25 seconds.
Pellegrino, what he wants to do is he wants to control the left hand with his left hand, get a hold of the wrist, and make sure that Neer is only defending with one arm, and then sink that arm across the neck.
10 seconds left in the round. As I mentioned, Neer's only been stopped once in 33 professional fights.
Neer tried to explode and wind up on top, but Pellegrino's having none of it.
And he won't be stopped.
Hey, watch your feet. Back up.
It's your round, Josh. Let's go.
Needs to be his round, Joe. The beautiful Natasha joining our crew with Logan and Ariani
Let's run. Let's go. Let's
for
go.
UFC 101 Declaration. Third and final round of our first fight of the night.
Good body kick by Pellegrino.
See if Pellegrino looks to get this fight back down to the ground. And again, he works the body. And we know somebody who has some pretty wicked kicks from the left side, and that is Kenny Florian. Answered though by Neer. Boom! Timed it perfectly. Pellegrino from the wrestling town of Point Pleasant, New Jersey. His father was a wrestler. His hero, he lists as Dan Gable, the longtime Iowa head wrestling coach.
He's got to be careful of his leg here. Neer is trying to transition to a leg lock.
He's trying to defeat the native of Iowa here tonight to make it 3 straight. Tavares, Emerson, and looking to victimize Josh Neer tonight. Under 4 minutes now. 3:45 remains in the fight.
Again, Kurt has got to be careful here. Omoplata attempt. Very difficult to pull off, though, when a guy's this sweaty. Especially an experienced guy like Pellegrino. Josh is controlling the right arm. See him grabbing that wrist?
Yep.
What he's trying to do is he's trying to set up a triangle. He's trying to control that arm and use it to hold on to it to pass his leg by, but Pellegrino having none of it. Josh's corner yelling at him, he's got to get up, but again, easier said than done. Kurt Pellegrino's got a very, very tight ground game.
Keeping a very good pace, very relentless with his attack. Pellegrino.
Trying to hold on to that wrist. See how he's got it? He just wants to use it and hold it just enough so he can get his knee past it and wrap it around, wrap his leg around the back of the neck of Kurt Pellegrino, but he's got to come up with some other attack.
Neer.
Neer's talking to him now.
I was going to say, Neer looks like he's speaking of Kurt Pellegrino.
Yeah, he is. They're talking to each other, but I mean, I don't know, what is he saying?
Oh, no, he didn't.
Yeah, he just bitch slapped him. I think that's for talking.
I think that was too.
Come on, guys.
I think Kurt just did a little talking, didn't he? Pellegrino, you can see taking his cardio to the best level ever is paying off right here for Kurt Pellegrino. Working with Kevin Kearns and asking Kearns to, put him through really the love-hate, which was getting him ready for tonight. Because he loves the way he feels tonight, but he hated getting there.
Neer is upset. He keeps putting his hands up like Pellegrino's not doing anything, but, he's got to do something. He's got to do something to get out of this position. You can't just complain that Pellegrino's doing nothing. Triangle attempt, suppressed again. Pellegrino stays on top, looks up at the clock and realizes it's only a minute and a half to go.
Neer's got to do something dynamic here, Joe. Or Pellegrino's going to win by decision.
He's got to finish the fight, really.
UFC On Demand. Watch the fights you want, when you want. Go to UFCOnDemand.com. The fights you want, when you want.
And he's taking chances here, and he's going to get mounted. He's got to be very careful. Neer keeps taking chances trying to pop out, and when he does, he's leaving space.
In front of 287 of his closest friends and family. Batman looking to win. 75 miles from his home on the shore.
There's some kind of chant going on in the audience, but I don't know what they're saying.
It's interesting, as a preliminary fighter in the UFC, Pellegrino 6-0. Looking for his first win, Joe, on the main card, and he's 35 seconds away from earning it.
And now he's on the bottom.
But only 30 seconds remains in the fight.
Good elbow by Josh Neer.
Finish it. 25 seconds, Josh.
Pellegrino looking to get the takedown again. Has one leg, now looking to wrap around a second. 15 seconds.
Elbows by Josh Neer. Kurt's got to be careful here.
10 seconds.
vicious elbows by Josh Neer from the top here.
Pellegrino able to survive, and the fight will go to the judges' scorecard. Neer is disgusted. His onslaught may very well have been too little too late.
Sit him down.
Take a look at our fight replay. Brought to you by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
This is really the key to this fight, is the takedowns of Kurt Pellegrino. Every time he got Josh Neer down, he spent the majority of the round on top of Neer. Wasn't able to do too much from that position, didn't do too much damage, but in my opinion, it was enough to win.
Take my gloves off.
Josh Neer
Curtis, good job, baby. Good job, baby.
looking to rock Pellegrino late. But this one might have gotten away from him. A little heathen. Jeremy Stevens with Josh Neer. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score this contest 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Kurt Batman Pellegrino.
Pellegrino wins on the main card for the first time in his UFC career. UFC 101 declaration. 3rd-degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt under Renzo Gracie. His son is named Renzo, and as we've mentioned many times, Almeida on the ground is vicious.
Yeah, he's had a very interesting UFC career, Mike. There was a 5-year absence from 2002 to 6 year, from 2002 to 2008, but we didn't see him in the octagon. He took a lot of time off. The sport was not as big back then. And when the sport started growing, after the success of The Ultimate Fighter, he saw the money in it, he saw the success that he could have had, and he decided to come back. Outstanding ground game, one of the best ground games in mixed martial arts. A Renzo Gracie disciple, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Had a lot of experience overseas as well, fought in Pride.
Took 2nd place at Abu Dhabi. 4-time Brazilian national jiu-jitsu champion. In fact, a 2-time silver medalist at Abu Dhabi. Won the middleweight King of Pancrase title, defeating fellow UFC fighter Nate Marquardt. One of only 2 men to submit Nate Marquardt. But he's worked on his boxing a lot. And he's the kind of guy, Joe, who says, you know what, let's not work on my strengths every day. Let's work on what I'm not as good at, my weaknesses. And so he's worked the hands diligently to try to make himself much more versatile.
Yeah, that was very important in his victory over Matt Harwich in his last fight. We saw some real good footwork and real good combinations from Almeida.
Much more humble, much more grounded, much more determined. Kendall Grove had his back to the wall when he faced off against Jason Day. He had lost a couple of fights in a row, Joe. He was in danger of being the first Ultimate Fighter winner to not have his contract extended in Ultimate Fighter in UFC history. What he did was look outstanding against Jason Day, winning in just 92 seconds. And a fighter who trains frequently with B.J. Penn and has his own school in Maui, Hawaii, with that man right there, Rude Boy Troy Mandalonis, his longtime friend, is very determined to continue to move up the 185 ladder and establish himself as a true contender for the belt.
Yeah, and you know, Kendall Grove, he had some bad setbacks, but he's a very talented guy, very talented in jiu-jitsu, and very talented in striking. Looked outstanding on his feet in his last fight against Jason Day, stopping Jason and hitting him with a vicious right hand. And in my opinion, that's his best chance to win this fight. Utilize that reach, use that good striking, use that excellent cardio. He's got some of the best cardio in MMA, and he really learned that from training with Tito Ortiz and his time in The Ultimate Fighter. I spoke to him after that, after he was on the show, and he said that's everything. Cardio is everything, and that's been a very important part of his training. He got a little lazy, he made some mistakes, did too much partying, and he paid for it 2 fights in a row where he stopped, but now he's back, he's in condition, he's focused, he's ready to rock and roll.
The Spider, Kendall Grove, on the card tonight with the fellow Hawaiian, B.J. Penn. Our tale of the tape for the second fight of our night in Philly, brought to you by the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon, Harley-Davidson. The Hawaiian, 6 years younger than the big dog, Ricardo Almeida, 6'6", 6 inches taller, 5-inch reach advantage for Kendall Grove. With the official introduction, once again, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 10 wins with 3 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Hamilton, New Jersey, Ricardo Big Dog And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 12 wins with 5 losses. Standing 6 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 185 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Maui, Hawaii, ladies and gentlemen, he is the Ultimate Fighter Season 3 winner, Kendall the Spider! And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Mario Yamasaki.
You're right. Look who's back here in attendance and back in the UFC. The Huntington Beach bad boy, that's right. Tito Ortiz loves Kendall Grove, considered him like a little brother during the time on the show together.
Yeah, when he was coaching Kendall, Kendall learned a lot from Tito, especially learned a lot about conditioning.
Let's go, come on!
And how important it is in fighting and your ability to fight up to the best of your abilities.
First round of this fight, Joe, brought to you by our friends at Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. Now available at tapout.com.
Ricardo Almeida making no qualms about it. He is trying to get this fight to the ground.
Well, on the ground, he's as good as any. Former teammate of Matt Serra, working with Frankie Edgar and Dante Rivera in Hamilton, New Jersey now.
Yeah, you could tell just by the way he was holding his hands and moving forward. He wasn't even thinking about throwing a punch.
Kendall Grove would like to go ahead and try to turn this into a brawl.
Kendall has very good takedown defense, and I'm sure he's been really concentrating on avoiding the ground game. Kendall has a very good ground game of his own, but for sure his strength lies in his striking and his ability to stay away in this fight.
His striking is tutored by Troy Mandalunas. Troy Mandalunas, rude boy, met Kendall in 2003 in Vegas and first helped him with his boxing. And now, as I mentioned, they opened a gym together in Maui. Justin McCauley also in Maui working with him at that gym. Longtime training partner of Tito Ortiz. Well, Kendall Grove can avoid this fight going down to the ground, then Ricardo Almeida may be in trouble.
Well, Kendall's got double underhooks here, and he used it to get himself away from the cage and to press Ricardo against the cage. But as long as he can do that, he can control the body of Almeida and keep this fight on the feet, and he does.
Got that significant reach advantage. Almeida trying to move that head around, Joe. Kendall going to try to keep him on the outside of the jab.
Oh, big right hand by Almeida.
Now, Kendall's chin has been questioned in the past. He was rocked pretty good by Patrick Cote and Jorge Rivera.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't say it's questioned. He's hit with big bombs by serious power strikers. You know, and anybody Patrick Cote hits on the button is in big trouble. And Jorge Rivera has some excellent striking of his own. Good kick. Ricardo catches the leg. Let's see if Kendall can shrug this off. And he does. And he's got double underhooks again, which is very important. He's going to use that to turn him around. Good knee to the body. And I think, in my opinion, that's another key to this fight, Mike, is the knees to the body by Kendall. Guillotine attempt.
Knee with your right knee.
Ricardo's trying to take him down. Kendall lets go of that guillotine attempt.
Kendall's daughter, Chloe, just turned 1 year old.
And I think that's also been a real big part of him.
Question.
Getting his stuff together, really concentrating, getting very serious, getting disciplined. Very, very proud father.
No question. Every time I see him, he pulls out the new picture.
Yeah.
And his daughter might end up being about 6'6" at the rate she's growing.
Oh, takedown. Okay. Here we go. Almeida on top. This is what he didn't want.
He's corner calling for the wall walk.
Yeah, but he's got to get close to the cage in order to do that. And right now, this space. Push him off. Almeida looking to get some ground and pound. Landed a leg kick and a punch. Back to the guard of Kendall. Short elbows from the bottom by Kendall. He made a mistake right there and immediately capitalized by Ricardo. Now he's in half guard. Ricardo has the instep down on the thigh, looking to pass, looking to kick that left leg out, and he does. Now he's in side control.
Still a lot of time, Joe. 50 seconds remains in the round.
He's got over-under control, and he's looking to transition to the back. Kendall's got 2 on 1. He's got 2 hands on the one right hand of Ricardo Almeida. Wants to protect and to keep Ricardo from getting his back. Now he's going to stand up. Excellent. Good job by Kendall Grove. Ricardo Almeida failed to capitalize on a very important position there. He got him down, it's what he wanted to do, but couldn't do anything with him when he got him there.
Kendall, wide receiver.
Nice. Good slam by Ricardo Big Dog Almeida. Half guard again for Kendall Grove.
Wide receiver in football, all-state wrestler in Hawaii at 170 pounds. After high school, he moved to Vegas to pursue his dream of being an Ultimate Fighter. Trained with Phil Baroni for a bit.
You got to give that. Keep it in the center of the ring. Utilize that reach.
There he is, the UFC welterweight champion of the world, George Rush St. Pierre. Receiving a hero's welcome here tonight in Philly.
Let's go, come on!
As he deserves.
No question. Coming off a dominant performance in his title defense against Thiago Alves.
Another, same thing. He faked the takedown, shot in the right hand, changed levels, and he's got him down again. Guillotine attempt here. But you hear Troy Mandelona say, don't burn your arms out, and that is very important. Ricardo Almeida, incredibly difficult to finish. He's saying, don't let him pass that. Close it. Troy Mandelona is good advice.
Push away elbows. You make space, you get out. Stay off that fence.
Stay off that fence. Push him with the elbows. He's rotating for the armbar. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Kendall
looking to submit Ricardo Almeida. Can he get it?
He's got it tight, Mike.
Can he finish?
Ricardo takes off, but Kendall sent him a message. Kendall looking for a leg lock now.
He almost had it, Joe.
That was a big message by Kendall Grove. Do not take him lightly on the ground. That was close.
Well, keep in mind, he has a lot of time that he spends training with one of the best jiu-jitsu guys of all time, B.J. Penn, and his crew.
Well, what's very important is he's not intimidated by the ground game of Ricardo Almeida. He's not just trying to defend, he tried to attack.
Good control. Look at the control in the back of the head by Kendall Grove there, Joe. Wouldn't let him get any space.
Although you got to give points to Ricardo for taking him down, Ricardo hasn't really been able to do anything to him once he's got him down.
Those long legs.
Now body triangle from the bottom, which restricts the air of Ricardo Almeida. There's not any submissions from that position, though. Once you lock that leg like that, you pretty much limit your ability to attack from the bottom.
Around, Mario. Push the face away, short elbow.
Push the face away, short elbow. He got it.
The problem is the perception of the judges, and in the perception of the judges, Ricardo Almeida being on top usually equals him winning.
Lightweight title on the line tonight. And tomorrow night on Versus, it's the WEC live from the Hard Rock in Las Vegas. Miguel Torres faces Brian Bowles for the Bantamweight Championship. Miguel on a 17-fight win streak. Hasn't lost since 2003. Bowles 7-0 overall, 4-0 in the WEC. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock on Versus.
And if you're an MMA fan and you haven't seen the WEC, you gotta watch. Some of the very best fighters in the world are the lightest weight guys. Incredible action, and Miguel Torres, in my opinion, is one of the top pound-for-pound fighters on the planet. It's an excellent opportunity to check that out on free TV on Versus.
Big weekend for MMA fans. UFC 101 tonight, WEC tomorrow.
Good ground and pound by Ricardo. Big dog Almeida. Kendall rolls for a knee bar. But he winds up getting his guard passed.
Looking to make it a 2-0 start here for the New Jersey boys.
Getting aggressive right there. Kendall left a little gap. Kendall left a little gap. He's since retained half guard. He's regained half guard, but you know,
keeping it on the ground is one way to neutralize the reach advantage.
Ricardo's got that leg almost out. He's going to push down on the thigh of Kendall. Good ground and pound. Nice elbow. Big punches by Ricardo.
Big talk.
And see the difference, Mike? The difference is in positioning. In the guard, he's not able to do much with Kendall. But once he got past that, once he got to the side, then he was able to land those big shots.
One of our judges tonight, you see him in the background, longtime UFC announcer, gold medalist Jeff Blatnick here tonight. Great to see him, our broadcast partner. He was with you as well, Joe.
Yeah, great guy. Gave me some great advice back in the day when I was doing the post-fight interviews, and just a pleasure to know that man.
Class act.
Olympic gold medalist, baby.
Doesn't get better than that.
Good
nice uppercut by Kendall Grove.
Nice knee by Kendall.
Couple of big shots by the Spider.
Kendall's got to really dig in and try to get that. Oh, Ricardo's struggling very hard for the takedown.
Good takedown
Kendall's got to dig in with that underhook. Knees to the body. Here Troy Mendolona's yelling again. Very passionate corner man. And Ricardo gets that takedown again.
But eats an elbow immediately.
Eats an elbow, but in the judge's eyes, he's winning this round.
And late in the round too, Joe, which is a huge...
Try to keep this fight on the feet, in my opinion.
Are you ready? Let's go, come on!
He's got to do something big in this round.
Big dog gonna wait for his opportunity for another takedown. Kendall's really been, you know, it's one thing to have the reach, it's another thing to utilize the reach. Kendall's really been working on really utilizing his reach advantage that he has over mostly everybody, Joe, at 185.
Couple good leg kicks by Almeida there, though, and those would take away the spring and the ability to sprawl. Catches that leg, working very hard for the takedown, and he's got it.
Looking to pass quickly.
Kendall struggles back to his feet again. Good job by Grove in getting back to his feet, but now he's got to do something offensively. Good knee by Kendall. He's able to turn him away, and he lands a right hand on Almeida. Good left hook by Kendall.
Almeida's starting to drop the hands a little, Joe.
He looks a little tired, Mike. And he drops down.
And he's going to eat some huge shots.
This is his opportunity here.
Kendall with a hammer fist. Wise move by Kendall.
Come on. Let's go.
I think Ricardo's tired, Mike.
Absolutely. Those hands came down immediately before, Joe. And as you mentioned, Kendall learned the importance of cardio from Tito Ortiz.
Good right hand by Almeida.
He's coming in, you kneel. Find the knee. Set it up. He's tired.
He's tired. You hear Troy Mandalone, it's Rude Boy, saying he's tired. Land the kick on the knee.
Knees right here. He's got to get those knees to the body. Lands one.
Watch the fence. Watch the fence.
He's got a lot of work, though, to do, Joe. He's behind on the judges' scorecards.
Yeah, in my opinion, he is. I think he's got to stop him. He's got to do something. I mean, unless he wins this round huge, he's probably lost those first 2 rounds. Nice knee there.
2:30 remains in the fight.
Yeah, Ricardo's even showing he's tired. He paused, dropped his hands, took a deep breath, but he's got the takedown again.
You know, the one thing to consider in round 2, while the takedowns belong to Almeida, Grove had the armbar almost in to finish the fight. And the nice uppercut.
That is true. I mean, you never know how judges are going to look at it. It's just been, in my experience, they just seem to think that the guy on top is winning. Unless the guy on the bottom submits him, very difficult to win a fight off your back.
Well, that's why everybody always says, Dana White included, don't let it go to the judges' scorecard.
He's rolling again. Kendall's trying to roll again for that armbar. If Ricardo gets lazy and leaves it out there again.
Kendall trying to work from the bottom. Kendall's throwing a lot of elbows from the bottom.
Yeah, Kendall has got to do something here. Looking for an omoplata. But his own arm is stuck in there, though.
110 remains in the fight.
Every chance he gets, anytime Almeida's arm comes in close to his chest, he looks to trap it and roll over for an armbar, but Almeida's not going to have that anymore. He knows he made a mistake in that second round. You know, Kendall's got to really make a crazy attempt here to get back to his feet, in my opinion. He's rolling for a Kimura on the right arm of Almeida. Turns and hits him with an elbow. Less than 30 seconds to go here. He's got to do something spectacular. And he pushes him off, back to his feet. Now Almeida's got to be tired here.
He's looking for that spectacular finish, but he got caught. Almeida pushing forward, looking for maybe that last takedown that will seal the deal. This looks like the end of the last fight, Joe. Judges will render their decision. Do the New Jersey Kids open up tonight 2-0? Or has the Hawaiian reign supreme? Take a look at our Bud Light fight replay. The difference is drinkability.
And here's a knee by Kendall Grove. Caught Ricardo Almeida on the chin. Here we see it again. He landed some good shots in the fight, landed a couple of good uppercuts. Had that armbar attempt, but the takedowns of Ricardo Almeida were probably the most significant things in terms of scoring the fight. In terms of coming close to finishing the fight, you know, Kendall was the one that came the closest with that armbar.
We'll find out. Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges scored this contest 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Ricardo Big Dog Almeida.
So not even enough in round 2 for Kendall Grove. Unanimous decision victory tonight for Ricardo Almeida. Big crowd sold out, Wachovia Center, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Randy Couture is here. Tito Ortiz is here. B.J. Penn, Kenny Florian later tonight. Anderson Silva, Forrest, Griffin later tonight, and there he is. The Hall of Famer, the former UFC light heavyweight champion, Chuck the Iceman Liddell. Moving ahead to the welterweight division, Amir Sadallah finally gets to fight, post-fight, Ultimate Fighter career against Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks, two-time national champion at Oklahoma State, four-time All-American, spectacular wrestler from Oklahoma State, just like Randy the Natural Couture. Now working his striking with Ken Hahn and the guys at Striking Unlimited, Ron Frazier in Las Vegas. He's been working his jiu-jitsu with Mark Lehman and Cobra Kai, longtime Frank Mir coach, longtime Joe Stevenson coach. Johnny Hendricks making his UFC debut tonight. He is 5-0 in his mixed martial arts career.
Yeah, I think it's very significant that he's training with Mark Lehman, because a guy that's such a great wrestler, two-time NCAA champion, that's going to translate very quickly into excellence in jiu-jitsu, and Mark Lehman is a fantastic coach. So I'm really looking to see what Johnny Hendricks brings to the table tonight.
Hendricks streaked to 56-0 before losing his first bout in his senior year. Even then, the loss only arrived in the 2007 NCAA Division I final, as Hendricks looked for the hat trick, fell short. But a four-time All-American, three-time Big 12 Conference champion, and when you look at pure wrestling credentials, Johnny Hendricks wrestling, his credentials, Joe, are as impressive as anybody in the UFC today, maybe the UFC ever.
And you know, we've said it many, many times, that is the greatest base for mixed martial arts success. Those guys, they have so much discipline, such a great work ethic, and it's just an awesome skill to have overall for mixed martial arts.
He is set to face the Ultimate Fighter Season 7 winner, who was coached by none other than Forrest Griffin, who will fight later tonight against Anderson Silva. Amir Sadallah, born in Brooklyn, fighting out of Richmond, Virginia. He spent some time at Extreme Couture, the Warrior Training Center, and his gym at home. He's been at Vanderlei Silva's gym. And tonight he fights for the first time at 170, Joe, because on the show, he competed at 185 when he beat CB Dalloway not once, but twice.
Yeah, I think 170 is the perfect weight class for him. He doesn't look drawn out. It looks like he can make it. He always looked a little small for 85. You know, he's had a tough time. It's been over a year since he's fought last, and during that time, he's had a couple of fights that didn't come off because of injuries. So I'm sure it's been very frustrating for him after the success, the momentum that he had behind winning the Ultimate Fighter, to have to sit back and watch not one but two Ultimate Fighter seasons pass before him.
One of the interesting things that Sadallah talked about was, while he had a fight go away because of a staph infection, while he was unable to fight because of a broken collarbone, he said both times he got very deep into his training camp. So it's not like he's been inactive. Yes, he hasn't actually fought, but he said, I've been training and training and training, and I'm grumpy, and I finally want to get in there and showcase my post-Ultimate Fighter winning skill.
Yeah, and he's been training quite a bit in Holland as well. He spent some time over there working on his Muay Thai in probably the best environment in the world. Some of the best fighters ever, stand-up-wise, come from Holland. The Dutch kickboxers are legendary, and Amir's been working on that over there. You know, very talented, intelligent, self-deprecating young man, and I'm really excited to see him compete again.
Our tale of the tape for this welterweight matchup, brought to you by the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon, Harley-Davidson. Sadallah, the Ultimate Fighter winner. 3 years the elder of the UFC rookie Johnny Hendricks. He's taller and will have a 6-inch reach advantage. With the official introductions, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 5 wins with no losses. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Johnny Hendricks. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 2 wins with no losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 166 1/2 pounds. Fighting out of Richmond, Virginia, he is the Ultimate Fighter Season 7 winner, Amir Sadallah! And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Dan Miragliotta.
Dan Miragliotta, our referee. The beautiful Ariani. Logan and Natasha. First round of this fight brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide, now available at tapout.com. Hendricks blocks the head kick. That's the one thing. You saw the submission victories by Amir Sadallah over CB Dalloway to become the Ultimate Fighter. But Joe, you mentioned his training in Thailand, but before then, he was also a WKA National Muay Thai champion. So his kickboxing may still be his best skill. He's in trouble though. And it is all over. Johnny Hendricks. That long wait of Amir Sadallah. And the fight lasts only 32 seconds.
You know what? I gotta think that's an early stoppage. I mean, I would like to see the replay. Look, props to Johnny Hendricks. He did what he had to do. He came storming out, threw some bombs.
Joe, let's take it right from the start of the fight.
It looks like Johnny hurt his hand as well.
Fight replay brought to you by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
We're going to see it from the very beginning. Now here you see Amir Sadallah coming out, throwing some leg kicks. Johnny Hendricks responds.
Might have been on that kick.
It could have been. Sadallah got a little reckless and got caught with that left hook. It was these punches.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? He wasn't defending himself, Joe.
Yeah, but he was trying to get back to his feet. I want to see it again. I disagree. You know, Sadallah got caught, but you know what? When you're down, what do you got to do? You got to turn. He's moving. He's looking. He's back up to his feet. I think that's definitely an early stoppage.
Well,
look,
if you go by
is landing some good punches. He drops down. He's taking some shots here, but you look, he's looking at Hendricks while he's hitting him. He's not defenseless. Hendricks is hitting him, but he's looking to get back up to his feet. The only options are go down, lie on your back, or get back up to your feet. He's trying to get back up to his feet. That means he was aware of what was going on, and I think it was an early stoppage.
Dan Miragliotta says no, it wasn't. He says he was not intelligently defending himself, and the fight is over. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Miragliotta has called a stop to this contest at 29 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by TKO, Johnny Hendricks.
Johnny Hendricks, the victor in his UFC debut. Joe Rogan will visit with Johnny.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Johnny Hendricks. First of all, Johnny, congratulations. The crowd is booing, but it's obviously not your fault that the fight was stopped, nor is it your call. But tell us what you think. In watching the replay, did you think that Amir was out of it enough, or is this not your call?
Hey, it's not my call. You know, I come out here to do one thing, fight until the ref takes me off. And right now, that's the only thing I could do, you know? I didn't stop it.
And you did. Let's take a look at this is the finish of the fight. You tagged him with a nice left hook, and he just jumped all over him. It did look like Amir was trying to get up, though. What is your opinion of it, watching it here again? Here you see, you're tagging him here. You got him down. You obviously had him in some trouble. You landed a couple of big shots here.
Well, you know, I landed those big shots, and he started coming up after I landed those big shots. So, you know, I could have woken him back up. I don't know, you know, but whenever I hit him with one of those uppercuts, I saw in his eyes, he just dropped.
Either way, you did what you're supposed to come here to do. Congratulations on a UFC debut.
Thank you very much, and I would like to thank Team Takedown, my wife, my family, and Oklahoma, okay? Thank you very much.
Whole state?
Whole state of Oklahoma, baby.
Johnny Hendricks, ladies and gentlemen.
The Oklahoma native, the two-time national champion, victorious tonight in his UFC debut. Here's what's coming up inside the Octagon, lightweight champion of the world. Kenny Florian getting warmed up in his locker room with Peter Welch. The fans love it here tonight. You talk about stoppages that were controversial. Well, I can tell you, the first time Aaron Riley and Shane Nelson fought, it was a controversial stoppage. So tonight, Joe, it's rematch time as they look to settle the score here in Philadelphia. A favorite among fight fans as well as his fellow fighters, veteran Aaron Riley earned his first UFC victory over George Gurgel in a 3-round war last November and seemed to be on his way up the lightweight ranks until running into Shane Nelson and a controversial defeat in March. Tonight, Riley gets a shot at redemption against the rising Hawaiian star.
I'll be coming in with a different strategy than last time. It'll be a completely different game plan, so you'll see a different fighter. I'm not going to be the fighter he prepared for in the past.
Unbeaten since 2005, Shane Nelson has compiled an impressive 8-fight winning streak. Still, Nelson insists on setting the record straight, and tonight, he intends on proving that the first win was not a fluke.
He's known for having an iron chin, and I put that chin to the test, and tonight, I'm looking to do the same thing. I think this fight's going to be a war. We'll probably end up swinging for the fences for 3 rounds, and I won't quit, so it should be fun.
Coming up next, Aaron Riley faces Sugar Shane Nelson.
As we said in the introduction, the previous fight between Sugar Shane Nelson and Aaron Riley was a very controversial stoppage. Shane Nelson caught Aaron Riley with a shot, but Aaron Riley, if you know anything about his career, he's famous for his ability to absorb punishment and to rebound. He's got an incredible chin, very skillful fighter. In the fight previous to that, he won a 3-round unanimous decision over George Gurgel, where he fought brilliantly on his feet, really showed some poised, technical striking. He's a very experienced fighter. 27-11-1 is his mixed martial arts record, and he has fought all over the world. You see behind him is the guru, Greg Jackson. He's been working with him, and Joe Stevenson as well. And, it's very important for Aaron to get back in there and erase this controversial stoppage to Shane Nelson. I mean, it was just one of the worst stoppages we've ever seen.
Well, Aaron Riley trained with Joe Stevenson many years ago, reunited, as you said, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The one thing about Aaron Riley, Joe, and you've mentioned it many times, he's been in so many wars that the one thing when you talk about officials, they all are going to take criticism. It's the toughest job in the world. But you got to know the fighter. And the fighter, which is Aaron Riley, can take a ton of punishment and come back and win fights because he's proven that before.
Yeah, that is his MO.
So now Shane Nelson forced to win again.
Well, I think both guys wanted this fight to happen again. Shane was not happy with the way it was stopped either. He knew it was premature. It was just an unfortunate situation. The referee made a call. It wasn't a good one. Now they're back again. Shane has been training very hard with B.J. Penn in preparation for this fight. Perfect for him because B.J.'s had the toughest training camp of his life, and Shane has been a big part of it. So Shane, look for him to be in excellent condition here and pumped up to erase the controversy of their previous meeting.
Well, Joe, steel sharpens steel, and certainly with not just B.J. Penn, but Kendall Grove, although he was defeated tonight, in that, championship title fight mode of a training camp, Shane Nelson will come into this fight maybe even better prepared than he was in the first matchup in Columbus in March of '09. He has an 8-fight winning streak, fought exclusively in his home state of Hawaii before his appearance on season 8 of The Ultimate Fighter. Sugar Shane Nelson, purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under B.J. Penn, cornered tonight by J.D. Penn, Rudy Valentino, Troy Mandalonis, and all those very tough Hawaiians. Our tale of the tape for the rematch. rematch is brought to you by the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon, Harley-Davidson, the Hawaiian 25. Aaron Riley, 3 years the elder. Everything else is virtually identical. Once again with the official introductions, the veteran voice of the octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 27 wins, 11 losses, and 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Aaron Riley. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 13 wins with 3 losses. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 156 pounds, fighting out of Hilo, Hawaii, Sugar Shane Nelson. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Kevin Mulhall.
Kevin Mulhall, our referee, for this lightweight rematch between Shane Nelson and Aaron Riley.
You ready? Are you ready? Let's fight.
First round of this fight brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide, now available at tapout.com. Riley in the red trunks, Nelson in the black trunks. Southpaw against southpaw. First fight lasted 44 seconds.
Good right hand, good left hand rather by Aaron Riley.
Riley has been in this fight game for so long, fought since the age of 16. And he says with Greg Jackson and of the camp in Albuquerque, it's the best training atmosphere he's ever been around. No negativity, and it's almost given him a new life.
Shane just stumbled there, and Aaron is all over him. Good knee by Shane.
Joe Stevenson. Greg Jackson in the corner tonight of Aaron Riley. Shane Nelson with the leg kick. Riley's had those famous matchups we've talked about many times in his career.
Good kick to the body. Good kick to the body by Aaron Riley.
That classic 2-fight series in hook and shoot years ago against Eve Edwards. Riley really the aggressor early, Joe.
Yeah, he's attacking Shane Nelson. I mean, I'm sure he's upset about that first fight. And he's very motivated tonight.
Nelson eliminated during his time on The Ultimate Fighter by the eventual winner, Efrain Escudero. Nelson 13-3 in his mixed martial arts career.
Don't hold the fence.
Riley sneaks away. Tonight, the UFC. Tomorrow night, the WEC. 9 p.m. on Versus. From the Hard Rock in Las Vegas, Torres and Bulls for the Bantamweight Championship.
Left hand landed by Shane.
Miguel Torres to headline tomorrow night's WEC. Headliner tonight, B.J. Penn, Kenny Florian. Coming up next, Anderson Silva and Forrest Griffin. Caught the leg. Rolling out of it was Riley. He's a tough, chilled out fighter. Aaron Riley started fighting at age 16, Joe. He's at just 28 years old. He's pretty much seen it and done it all.
Yeah, it's really incredible that this guy, with all the experience he has, is only 28 years old. I mean, I remember hearing about him years and years ago, back in the hook and shoot days. You know, so it's pretty amazing that he's really that young.
Under 2 minutes remains in round 1. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Aaron looking for takedown attempts. Shane shrugs it off. Aaron lands a nice knee. Good knee to the body by Aaron. Aaron is imposing his will on Shane Nelson, and he's keeping a lot of pressure on him. And I don't know whether or not Shane's going to be able to hold up to this.
Riley just seems so much bigger and thicker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bigger, thicker, and very aggressive. And he's fought a lot at 170 as well, not just at 55. And Shane is not a big 55er.
Don't forget, you can go to UFC.com and click Beyond the Octagon, powered by Burger King. Live access to the locker rooms of B.J. Penn, Kenny Florian, Forrest, Griffin, and follow the Octagon girls throughout the evening. Beyond the Octagon, powered by Burger King.
Aaron caught the knee of Shane. Shane shoots for the takedown here, stuffed by Aaron, stuffed easily.
Sugar Shane.
Shane is breathing heavily.
Well, Joe, that's that big 155 of Riley hanging all over him.
Yeah, I would expect that Shane is in excellent condition, though, especially coming off that B.J. Penn training camp. You know, I don't know if he was going through the same strength and conditioning program that B.J.'s been going through with Marv Barinovich, but if he has, you know, he's going to recover well. But Aaron Riley's all over him here. Oh, late knee. Advice and strategy, but just a perfect presence in the corner of the fighters.
That's a pretty wicked World Series ring, I have to say, Shane. Victorino watching his fellow Hawaiian, Shane Nelson here.
Head kick by Riley, just grazed the neck, or the head rather, of Shane Nelson. Shane responds with a nice knee. Riley's just all over him, though. It just really seems like he's just the bigger, stronger guy, Mike.
And he is going to be bigger and stronger than a lot of guys at 55, Joe, because like you said, he's thick. He has the ability to cut, but a lot of his career was spent at 170. Then again, Nelson, you know, looks like he could fight 45. And we saw that on the show, too.
Yeah.
You know, and he gave away a lot of size to Escudero, and that was a main reason that he was beaten in the quarterfinals by that triangle choke by Ephraim.
Yeah, it's such an important factor in this fight, or these fights rather. In this sport, you have to fight at the optimum weight class. I mean, we saw that with B.J. Penn versus George St. Pierre. I mean, take away from the fact that George St. Pierre is an incredibly talented fighter, the fact that he was just so much bigger and stronger than B.J. Just when you get two guys that are close to the same skill level, but one of them is significantly larger, that's a giant advantage. I mean,
3.5 remains in the second.
The old days are gone, you know. The old days where the little man could beat the big man. You know, these guys are so talented and so technical that the big man is just as good as the little man, but bigger.
And the crazy thing, Joe, in the olden days, you didn't see these guys just perfect the weight cut like they do in this modern day. So now the big guy does fight in the little guy's division.
Yes, especially in America. You know, in Japan, they still haven't quite mastered that, and that's why you see a lot of these guys that come over from Pride that were fighting at 185 or at 205. They just don't seem as big.
I mean, Tito Ortiz ruled 205 for a long time because he was the guy who could cut and then come back at 220, 225, and was huge.
Right.
And always had the size advantage on his opponent.
As is Chuck Liddell, and that brings up a very interesting component of the fight tonight with Anderson Silva versus Forrest Griffin.
Yep.
Because Forrest is one of those guys that's a big 205. And he looked shredded at the weigh-in. So he's in phenomenal condition, and he's probably going to weigh about 220 when he gets in the octagon tonight.
He walks around at about 240, does Forrest Griffin. Now, that being said, Silva walks around at 220.
Big kick by Aaron Riley.
And another knee.
He's wearing on Shane Nelson, Mike.
Imposing his will.
Another knee to the body. He's just constant pressure and beatings, and now he's got Shane down. Very nice sweep. He was looking for that sweep earlier in the first round, and he got it here. And Shane's breathing heavy, and he's got this big gorilla on top of him, elbowing him in the face.
Let's go, Shane. Get up, Shane. Come on.
Great fight between Riley and George Gurgel at UFC 91. We were reminded of the toughness that both of those men that night. Fight of the Night award going to Gurgel and Riley at the MGM Grand back in November of 08.
Yeah, that fight really showed how technical Aaron Riley is on his feet, because George is a very good kickboxer. I mean, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but his kickboxing is excellent. And Aaron rather, shut him down that fight.
First pro fight, as we mentioned, at age 16 as a high school student for the former Golden Gloves champion. Fighting has basically been Aaron Riley's only job, and he's good at it.
Shane able to get back to full guard here, but you know, it's going to be real difficult for him to pull off something offensive on Riley. Riley is very good on the ground as well as being a good stand-up fighter.
Speaking of stand-up, Kevin Mulhall stands him up.
Learn the game from Matt Hume.
The end of the training camp for this one for B.J. Penn, of course, is the leader, and then Nelson and Grove came along for the ride, was in California after the time spent in Hilo. About 2 months spent in California at the end of camp.
Yeah, Shane just seems too small for Aaron Riley, Mike. He landed a couple of shots there, but just doesn't seem like there's much on him.
Riley really starting to open up here at the end of the round.
Room to the
Greg Jackson, the same guy, and I teased him about it, who told George St. Pierre to just hit Thiago Alves with his groin. Jason Worth also here tonight. The Phillies win tonight? I don't even know. I've been all UFC all evening. They lost tonight. They were at home right across the parking lot from here at the sold-out Wachovia Center.
Fight.
Third and final round between Riley and Nelson. Quickly coming out with a nice combination again is Aaron Riley.
And real good advice by Greg Jackson in the corner. He said to follow up that straight left with the right hook, that you're putting too much weight on the left hand and you are becoming predictable. So let's see if he listens. And in Shane's corner, they actually told him that if he wins this round, he wins the fight.
Kool-Aid.
More Kool-Aid. Yeah. Drink it.
Drink it, enjoy it, love it. They exchange body shots.
And Shane just, you know, it really just does seem like he's undersized. I mean, I can't stress it enough. He's bouncing off of Aaron Riley. I mean, look at how easily Aaron is shrugging off this takedown attempt.
And Shane's putting together some nice combinations and landing some punches, Joe, as you mentioned, but because of how much bigger and stronger Aaron Riley is, they aren't having any effect, and they aren't earning him any positive points.
Aaron is so far not listening to the corner advice and not landing, or not rather following up that left hand with the right hook. He just keeps throwing that left hand. Good combination there by Shane, but he's exhausted. The weight of Aaron Riley all over him, and Aaron's probably about 170 pounds right now, whereas Shane is probably about 155 still. And he just fell to the ground there.
3.5 remains in the fight.
Fight breaks out in the crowd. It might be better than what we're seeing on the screen.
In Philadelphia, what a shock.
I know, it's crazy. Surprised nobody's been shot yet.
Surprised it's taken this long. Joe said the shot thing, by the way.
I did?
I'm sorry?
Somebody get this man a cheesesteak.
There you go. Chuck Liddell's looking at the fight. Chuck loves a good fight. All right, back to our action, Joe, because we can't see this one. Under 3 minutes remains in the third and final round.
I think 90% of the crowd is watching the fight in the crowd right now. and meanwhile, Aaron Riley on top of Shane in his full guard, stacking him, and he's looking to land some ground and pound. I think Aaron should be trying to pass right now and get to a dominant position. The fight's still going on.
Eight-fight win streak is in serious jeopardy here with 2:10 remaining in the fight.
Honestly, I think it should be a 7-fight win streak. I think the last fight should have been a no contest.
That's fair.
I get so upset when I see fights get stopped too early and real good fighters have a loss on their record. And that was one of the worst ones I think we've ever seen. I mean, the Amir Sadallah fight earlier, I mean, that was debatable. I think it was premature, but it was debatable. I see what Dan Mergliotta saw, and, you know, he was trying to protect the fighter, and that's his job. But
it's the old non-intelligently defending yourself, right?
Yes, but the Shane Aaron Riley one was awful. I don't even know if it's available online. I think Zuffa might have burned it.
That being said, it's not Shane Nelson's fault, though,
Absolutely not Shane Nelson's fault, you know. And, you know, the kid's shown a ton of heart. I hope after this fight he considers a drop down to 145 pounds. He's very talented, and it would be nice if he's not getting worn on by bigger, stronger guys like this. I mean, I look at this and I say, well, what would a guy like Gray Maynard do to him? A real big 55. You know, I mean, he could beat up, man. He needs to be fighting at the optimum weight class for his frame, which I believe is 145.
Well, I'm sure our WEC matchmaker Sean Shelby would welcome Shane Nelson into his 145-pound division.
Absolutely, and Aaron is just working him here.
Final minute of the fight. Coming up next, Forrest Griffin and Anderson Silva. Still ahead, our main event, B.J. Penn, Kenny Florian.
Shane opened his guard there for a second and thought about an armbar attempt, but then he just changed his mind. The kid's exhausted, and he's been taking a beating by this bigger, stronger guy for 3 rounds now. You know, props to him for just hanging in here and not looking to quit.
Well, Riley making and taking full advantage of this rematch opportunity tonight. But the Hilo boy with that Hilo boy attitude shows no quit. But he is going to be defeated unanimously this evening, and his win streak comes to conclusion.
Revenge,
Aaron Riley.
Revenge for Aaron Riley for sure. If he doesn't win this decision, I'm going to burn my headset and run naked through the crowd.
You know what? I hope he wins this decision. Because I don't want to see that. Not really. It's not true. It's really not.
That's not what you say when we're off the air.
That's true, but it's not true on the air.
Man, they're still fighting in the crowd. This is crazy.
All right, why they do that? Our Bud Light replay, the difference is drinkability.
Tough hell, man. You're a tough fighter, dude.
Yeah, Aaron Riley, a great guy, giving Shane Nelson some props. And here, you see him sweep Shane and get him down to the ground. That was a sweep that he had attempted in the first round, but he eventually wore down on Shane, and it got to a point where he could impose his will on him and got on top of him and just kind of battered him. You know, hit him with all sorts of punches and elbows and ground and pound, and just, you know, like I said before, I think the kid should be at 145. Very talented young fighter.
We're going to get some ground and pound going. Proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach, for everything.
Wow, look at that.
Hearing Greg Jackson say he's proud of you, that's got to be huge. Joe Stevenson gives him a hug.
Well, you know what? As I said earlier in the fight, Aaron Riley has said that he's rejuvenated and re-energized by the attitude of Greg Jackson and the atmosphere at that camp. So it has to mean the world to him. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored this contest 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Aaron Riley.
No surprise, Aaron Riley wins by unanimous decision in the rematch tonight against Sugar Shane Nelson. Take another look inside the line. Great fights coming up later this month. Great fights still ahead. And now it is time for our light heavyweight showcase, as it's a battle of champions. The Ultimate Fighter winner, former light heavyweight champion Forrest Griffin, at 205 battles UFC Middleweight Champion Anderson Silva.
Put me
eu sempre...
In my career, I've always wanted to fight the best. This is another opportunity to show my skills.
There's no doubt Anderson's one of the most technically skilled fighters in the entire game. The question is it too much jumping up to 205 and taking on former UFC light heavyweight champion Forrest Griffin? This is going to be the first time where he's going to fight a real top contender at 205.
I said every time, I will fight anybody.
Rampage is in big trouble here. Nice right hand by Forrest. Forrest is turning it on here.
Forrest Griffin has defeated Shogun!
Anybody can be beat, and when somebody does beat Anderson Silva, everybody's gonna say, oh, that's all you had to do. I should have thought of that.
A gente não vai olhar.
In this fight, we're not going to look at his weaknesses. We're going to look at his strengths in order to beat him more efficiently.
It's also a challenge to him. If Anderson can go up and beat a top guy and a former light heavyweight champion, that cements him solidly in the top pound-for-pound fighter position. And second of all, it gives him many, many opportunities.
What Anderson Silva needs is to be pushed, and I'm certainly the guy to do that.
Mas eu acho que a luta vai acabar.
It's going to end with one of us getting knocked out. That's a fact.
When I go into fight, you're gonna have to beat me. When this goes down, you better be ready. And I'm ready.
It's going to be a good night for me.
For sure, I'll be the aggressor.
And a bad night for him.
I guarantee you, I'm not gonna lose.
They are set to meet, Joe, here tonight in Philadelphia. B.J. Penn, Kenny Florian. Let's go right inside the numbers. The champion, B.J. Penn, the prodigy, holds the belt right now in the lightweight division. Held it previously in the welterweight division. Has never been knocked down. Third best in UFC history, landing 61% of his total strikes. Same can be said, though, for Kenny Florian. He has never been knocked down in his UFC career, and he lands 52% of his strikes. This is a matchup of a world-class fighter and truly the #1 contender at 155 pounds. We know one thing, B.J. Penn, motivated. And Dana White's always said, a motivated and in-shape B.J. Penn can be lethal.
Well, he is, without a doubt, he's one of the pound-for-pound best fighters on the planet, and for sure, he is one of the very best lightweights on the planet. Is he the very best? We're going to find out tonight, but he's always been a phenomenal fighter. From the moment we saw him in the UFC, the nickname The Prodigy is stuck because he's just been so explosive, not just with his hands, his techniques on the ground, his ability to submit guys, to avoid takedowns. With Kenny Florian, what we've seen instead is an evolution. And Kenny Florian, when we first saw him on The Ultimate Fighter, he was not nearly the fighter that he is today.
Absolutely.
But through hard work and discipline and through excellent coaching by Mark Delagrate, Kevin Kearns being his strength and conditioning coach, we've seen him evolve and change and become this incredible contender that he is now, the top contender in the lightweight division. He is without a doubt a threat to BJ's belt. Does he have enough to beat the Prodigy? We're going to find out tonight, but he has enough to get to the place where he can challenge for it, that's for sure.
And I think the interesting thing that has to be said is that Kenny Florian, and I know you'll say we're going to find out, but Kenny Florian tonight really truly faces the first world-class champion in his UFC career. That's no disrespect to his previous opponents, but B.J. Penn is in a totally different stratosphere.
Yeah, I mean, he does have one former title fight against against Sean Sherk, but the Sean Sherk fight, we didn't see the same Kenny Florian. He's evolved since then, and Sean basically just shut him down.
Yeah.
You know, Sean with his excellent wrestling and his power slams and his ability to avoid submissions was just too much for him at that point. I think he's learned a lot from that fight. He's won 6 in a row since then, and I think we're going to see the very best Kenny Florian we can. What we've ever seen, rather. Will that be enough, though? That's the real question. B.J. Penn, coming off that loss to George St. Pierre, has been humbled.
Yep.
He has been more motivated than ever before. He has taken on a new strength and conditioning program with Mar Baritovich, the very controversial strength and conditioning coach, and he has really done all these crazy things to change the way B.J. Penn's body moves. And B.J., I think, learned from that George St. Pierre fight that what he thought was great shape was not the same kind of great shape that George is in. and I think he's in phenomenal shape now, and it's going to be a fantastic matchup. I'm really pumped.
He's in that great shape tonight. He's more explosive. He's more dangerous. What do you at home think? Our fans all around the world have voted all night long at UFC.com and online. And you know what? 70% of you believe that B.J. Penn will remain the UFC lightweight champion after tonight's main event of the evening. Our text voting all night long brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. Now available at tapout.com. So the question is, Joe, who after tonight will leave the best 155-pound fighter in the world?
Well, you know, obviously we're going to find out tonight. I think for Kenny Florian, the key to this fight is movement, avoid BJ's punches, land a lot of kicks. Sean Sherk had some good success with leg kicks in their fight, and I think that's going to be a big part of this fight. Also, I talked to Mark De La Grate. I said, what is the game plan? And what he said was, be unpredictable. I think we're going to see an unpredictable, explosive Kenny Florian. He's definitely going to give it his best shot. Will he have enough to pull it off?
We will soon find out as we have made our way to the main event of the evening for the UFC lightweight title as the Prodigy is set to face Ken Flo.
Who wants to see fights finishing here? I finish fights!
It's all about cementing your legacy.
And Penn is the best fighter at 155 pounds in the world today.
He's got to beat the shit out of Kenny Florian.
One-punch knockout power and the takedown.
He's got the mount in.
Ken Florian set to try to win the lightweight title.
When he called out B.J. Penn and he said B.J. Penn is the master and it's time to kill that master, he believes that.
I want BJ's belt!
BJ is shown to be a beast at 155. I'm going to kill that beast.
Since the fight with George St. Pierre, he's got a whole nother attitude about training.
I think you're going to see the 22-year-old Prodigy. I'm doing this for me now.
Coming off season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter, it's unbelievable how much this kid has grown. Since losing his shot at the title to Sean Sherk 2 years ago, he's gone undefeated 6 fights, and he's stopped every one of those guys except for Roger Huerta.
BJ Penn is at his best at 155. That's the guy that I want to fight. I may finish him in the first round.
Did he really say this?
Contender in the UFC lightweight division, Kenny Florian, entering the octagon with his brother Keith Florian, his longtime Muay Thai trainer Mark De La Grate from Sityotar, and Peter Welch's boxing coach, the famous Southie. He steps into the Harley-Davidson prep point for this, the biggest fight of his mixed martial arts career.
Kenny Florian is a very intelligent guy. He's also a great commentator on mixed martial arts. He analyzes fights, breaks down fights. He has a very intellectual approach to this sport, and along with that, he has an incredible work ethic, and he's surrounded himself with excellent trainers. Peter Welch, his boxing trainer, of course, Mark De La Grate, Kevin Kearns for strength and conditioning. Kevin has really reconstructed Kenny's body and really made it a much more muscular, powerful, much better endurance than he ever had before. He has evolved so much from his time on The Ultimate Fighter. But as I said before, the big question is, has he reached that championship championship level. You know, in destroying Joe Stevenson, he really sent a message to the other 155-pounders. Joe has always been considered a top contender at 155, always been able to hang in there with the best, and Kenny ran through him. And he ran through him better than even B.J. ever did. So, you know, this is a very, very, very intriguing matchup, Mike. And if Kenny Florian can defeat B.J. Penn, we will have seen probably one of the greatest metamorphoses in all of mixed martial arts, from his time on The Ultimate Fighter to gaining the championship title in the lightweight division.
Kenny Florian really understands and respects the Thai traditions of Muay Thai fighting. He's a Gracie Barra, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. His brother Keith breaks down all kinds of tapes. He spent 2 years, put on 12 pounds of muscle with what he called the missing link, Kevin Kearns. He's also worked some of his conditioning recently with Jonathan Chambers from George St. Pierre's camp. He said, and I quote, "B.J. Penn is the best lightweight in the world, and I see this as an amazing opportunity to test my skills." Look at his eyes, Joe.
Very focused.
Look at his eyes.
You know, he realizes how important this is to his legacy, Mike. You know, the George St. Pierre fight, as we said in the pre-fight, it was very humbling. Very humbling for him. He was beaten down by a bigger, stronger, more technically proficient man with a better game plan. And, you know, I think it woke him up. It woke him up to the level of competition that he's going to have to face.
B.J. Penn, the proud Hawaiian, the Hilo boy, the prodigy, has not lost, Joe, at 155 pounds since January of 2002.
He said that the loss to George St. Pierre was a good thing. And the reason being that, he said if he had beat George St. Pierre, he'd have never hooked up with Mark Marinovich, he would have never changed his training, he would have never come to California where he spent the entire 2-month training camp. He would have just done what he's always done, and he needed that. He needed that wake-up call. He has always aspired to greatness, and not just greatness, but to be the greatest fighter ever. And he realizes now, I believe, that there are other guys that are trying to do the same thing. And he realized that George St. Pierre simply worked harder than him. So he's kicked it up a notch. And I think we're going to see the very best prodigy we've ever seen tonight.
Man, he looks good. B.J. Penn, Kenny Florian, our main event of the evening. Our tail of the tape for this lightweight title fight, brought to you by the only motorcycles worthy of being in the octagon, Harley-Davidson. Florian, 3 years older than Penn. He will have a 4-inch reach advantage. With the introductions for our main event tonight, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 UFC lightweight warriors have now entered the world's ultimate proving ground for champions, as this is the main event of the evening. Sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission, Commissioner in attendance, Rudy Battle, and Executive Director Greg Serb. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Nelson Hamilton, Eric Colon, and Douglas Crosby. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Dan Mergliata. This bout is sponsored by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability. The only motorcycles worthy of being in the Octagon, Harley Davidson. And Gamer, starring Gerard Butler, Terry Crews, and Ludacris in theaters everywhere. Labor Day weekend. And now, the moment of truth UFC fans around the world have been waiting for. Live from the sold-out Wachovia Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Lightweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 13 wins with 3 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Boston, Massachusetts, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the challenger, Kenny Florian. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter, holding a professional record of 13 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Waianaku, Hilo, Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the reigning, defending UFC Lightweight Champion of the World, the Prodigy, B.J. Penn!
All right, guys, we've been through the rules in the locker room. We both understand the rules, correct? Want a nice, clean, safe fight, touch gloves, and come out fighting.
Here we go. 5 rounds for the UFC lightweight title. Florian and Penn.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go fight.
First round of this title fight brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. Now available at tapout.com. White trunks for Penn, black trunks for Florian.
Mike, if there's an area where I think B.J. Penn has a significant advantage over Kenny, it's in his boxing. B.J. has excellent hands.
And he's got a great chin.
He's got a great chin, and Kenny's going to avoid those hands. He got knocked down.
Caught the leg and strikes first. B.J. Penn, 13-5-1 overall. Kenny Florian, 13-3.
Good elbow by B.J.
Florian realizes that the first round may very well be the most dangerous because B.J. Penn's going to try to come out in this fight early because that's something he's had a habit of doing in the past, and he's really angry. Mark Delagrati said, just weather the early storm, you know, be unpredictable, as you said, Joe. Get him into the 3rd and 4th round when he's not quite as dangerous, and then try to work your magic.
Well, you know what? That's where the strength and conditioning program comes in.
True.
Because, you know, B.J., if he can keep up this kind of pace for 5 rounds, he'll be just as dangerous in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. In the past, when he hasn't had that kind of strength and conditioning program, that's when we've seen him fade, and he just relied on his talent alone.
The one thing that we will not see tonight is a significant strength advantage for Florian, as we saw with GSP against Penn. That being said, versatility is definitely one of the strengths of Kenny Florian.
And BJ looks thicker. BJ looks thicker tonight than he looked in the GSP fight. He looks more muscled.
Marv Marinovich said he totally changed everything. The explosiveness, the strength, technique, and again, the aggressor is B.J. Penn. Main event tonight, UFC 101, UFC 102, 3 weeks from tonight, Randy Couture, Minotauro Nogueira, Jardine and Silva, Maia and Marquardt.
Live on pay-per-view in North America. Check your listings international. Tickets are still available. Philly tonight, Portland at the end of the month. I mean, Penn has fought everybody, including the Gracies. You know, he's fought GSP twice. He's fought Hughes on multiple occasions.
Yeah, the experience difference between these two men is huge.
And the level of opponents.
Yeah, the toughest guy that Kenny has faced has been Joe Stevenson. Of course, Diego Sanchez, back when he competed on the Ultimate Fighter at 185, but I think Diego was just far too big for him back then. Diego just ran through him.
Diego gets the winner, too, which is crazy. They're about to meet at 55, maybe in a rematch of the Ultimate Fighter, maybe one of the greatest fights ever if BJ retains the title.
BJ is so good at takedown defense. You got to wonder how much Kenny is burning himself out here. He's trying to take BJ's back here.
I mean, BJ Penn has fought heavyweight before, Joe.
Yeah, he fought Lyoto Machida and lost the decision. And that fight was at heavyweight. Lyoto was 220 pounds.
Good leg kicks possessed by Kenny Florian. Keith Florian saying that BJ's tired already. That one I'm not so sure about. Congratulations to Keith. The birth of his daughter, Karina Elizabeth Florian.
Well, you know what? BJ does have his mouth open. You know,
Could he really be tired right now,
there's always the possibility that this new strength and conditioning program that he's undertaken has worn him out. That's very possible that he is overtrained. You know, Shane Nelson looked a little bit overtrained rather in his fight with Aaron Riley. I mean, he looked like he was getting worn out by a bigger guy, but it also could have been that he was worn out from the training. Martin Ridovich, although a great strength and conditioning coach, has never been known to be training fighters, especially not mixed martial arts fighters of the highest caliber.
He has been known to push the kids he trains as well.
Right, so we don't know. I mean, this is all speculation.
Swing and a miss. Pendo delivers. Kenny slips. Big knee by Penn. Florian gets out of the way, though. That kind of knee was the one that finished back in 2002. But a little evil, Jens Pulver.
You ready? Let's go fight.
Kenny's corner saying he will break before you.
Round two. Kenny trying to keep him on the outside.
What I'd like to see from Kenny is some leg kicks.
Absolutely.
Sean Shirk landed a ton of those on BJ Penn.
There it goes. And a good one. Remember the way he chopped down Mishima? I mean, Kenny Florian's leg kicks are as good as anybody's at 55.
They're excellent. They're excellent. And I think if there's any advantage that he has over BJ, it is in that. BJ's legs are so strong and so flexible, and his balance is so excellent. But taking him down while he's fresh is really, really difficult. The only one who was able to do it really was GSP, who's probably got the best takedowns in mixed martial arts.
And he's way bigger.
Exactly. But Kenny's struggling, and in doing this, and in struggling and pushing BJ, one thing he's doing is he's making BJ work.
And you know, when GSP clinched, it was to wear down BJ Penn, to work for a takedown. I think when Kenny Florian clinches, he's looking to unload those vicious elbows.
Well, he's also looking to try to take BJ down. And if he can't take BJ down, at least he's making BJ work to defend that takedown. He's looking at the legs.
Some vicious ground and pound.
Kenny's looking at the legs. That inside leg kick that he's using from the southpaw position is going to wear out that front leg of BJ Penn. With Sean Shirk, Sean had some success with the orthodox position. And, you know, I asked Sean after the fight, I said, you know, you landed some really hard leg kicks. Why didn't you continue that? He said, I just got caught up in the fight.
Yeah.
He said that was part of the game plan.
Well, the one thing Kenny's excellent at is staying within the game plan.
You know, it's a huge part of fighting. You know, you can't be in there alone. You got to be in there with coaches. The moment sometimes overwhelms the best of them, and they abandon the strategy that they had before the fight.
Florian, a career best 6-fight winning streak coming into tonight for the former collegiate soccer player at Boston College. His entire family from Boston pretty much in attendance tonight.
You know, Kenny keeps going for that takedown, and I think he's going to wear BJ out if he continues to do this, Mike.
Dr. Florian, his father, a judo black belt himself. His parents are from Peru. Here this evening. One of 6 siblings, all trained in martial arts.
He's looking for that elbow. Kenny broke, and as he broke, he looked for that slashing elbow that he lands.
That cut his good buddy Alex Karalexis. Alex still talks about the scar that his buddy Kenny gave him.
Kenny looking for the Superman punch, got a little careless, and he hit him in the back of the head.
BJ, watch the back of the head. 205 remains in round 2.
You can't fault BJ for that punch, though. I mean, he was just trying to connect.
One of the toughest cage fighters of all time in the history of the sport, B.J. Penn.
And again, Kenny is going to wear him down if he keeps doing this. I wonder how much of the strategy was this. I mean, as I said, as I spoke to Mark Delagrate, when I asked him what the game plan was, he said be unpredictable. And I think that's one of the things Kenny's doing by constantly attacking and trying to get that takedown. I don't know if BJ was ready for this. And he keeps pressing him up against the cage. He's trying to wear the air out of him. Body shots.
The one thing that has been questioned with
good uppercut by BJ, though. Uppercut by BJ. BJ connected with the left hook.
It's never been questioned with Florian, Joe, but the heavy hands of B.J. Penn can change the course of any fight in an instant. And if you're talking about one-strike knockout power advantage on paper, you got to give it to the champion.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yeah, Kenny has not been known to knock guys out, especially with punches. I mean, especially on the feet, rather.
He'll usually overwhelm him, strike, then get on top and finish it off with some serious ground and pound. Again, he gets caught. Final 35 seconds of the second round.
And a good round for Kenny Florian. If they believe that they can wear BJ out and make him break, it's been a good round for him because he's forced BJ to work. And he lands that leg kick again.
Drew Toy, sit your tongue in attendance here tonight watching Kenny.
One of the great things about Kenny's southpaw stance is when he's landing this inside leg kick, BJ's not checking it the way you traditionally check the outside one. You know, if Kenny's left leg was forward and he was landing on Kenny's, on BJ's left leg, BJ would be lifting his left leg up.
That fucking clap, and he's ready to go for you, all right? Kenny, you gotta use your legs.
Winning this fight right now, okay? So there's no reason to panic up here and get desperate, all right? So when you're playing with them, give them some feints, okay? Give them some feints and walk, all right? But get aggressive when you get on him.
You know, everything you talked about, Joe, in the game plan and wearing him down very well is working, obviously. But the fact of the matter is you could make the argument that Penn has won round 1 and round 2. And if he wins this round, as long as he survives 4 and 5, he may have already stolen this fight. Again, judges' scorecard's unpredictable.
Well, I think it's hard to say that right away at the beginning of the third round, but, you know, I mean, we're not even halfway into the fight. But I do think that Kenny's game plan is having some success. BJ is slowing down, but, you know, the question remains, I mean, is BJ pacing himself? Is he just trying to stay calm and wear Kenny down and let Kenny run around and not exert as much energy early? We don't know. You know, this is all speculation.
And, Joe, look back to those fights earlier in the career of B.J. Penn, in which he was defeated by a Hughes in a GSP. He came out and dominated early, but went for the win maybe too aggressively and ended up gassing himself out. So that's a good point. Maybe he is trying to be a bit more methodical and disciplined.
Well, in the last Hughes fight, he was injured. I mean, he injured himself in trying to submit Hughes and wound up getting beaten down. But he himself has said that he wasn't in the greatest condition going into that fight. I mean, there was a period of time where he was only, you know, he was training much less because he felt like it made it more exciting for him and made it more fun to fight. That he wore himself out when he tried to train too hard. Again, Kenny employing that GSP strategy of pressuring BJ, making him wrestle, trying to wear his arms out, trying to test his conditioning.
Lighter.
Yeah, and that is very important. Yeah, he's landing some good knees though. And again, drops down for that takedown. Now, if Kenny's able to complete one of these takedowns, then we're gonna know for sure that BJ's wearing down.
Great point. And we know that B.J. Penn has outstanding takedown defense. Great dexterity.
Body shots by Kenny, and drops down again.
Shoulder pressure.
Yeah, they want him to press him up against that cage. Keep doing that.
Second world title opportunity for Florian.
And he's pressing right into his gut. You know, it makes it very difficult for BJ to breathe when he does this. And BJ's using his forearm to try to hold it back and prevent it. Good uppercut by BJ, and Kenny tries to break away with an elbow.
You know, BJ's landed that uppercut on numerous occasions.
Mark Delagrate was yelling out in the corner that he wanted Kenny to use the legs, land those leg kicks.
Good shot by Florian. Uh-oh, he got caught again, though. Florian came through with a big left. Absolutely. Kenny's a tough kid. Soccer player, extremely intelligent. Went to Boston College. His father, the doctor, said, you know, when I sent him to college, I wanted him to come back a lawyer, not a fighter. But you know what? He's pretty good as a fighter, and I'm very proud of him.
You know what? In this life, you got to do what you want to do.
And Kenny has always wanted to be a samurai, and he is. Penn was born to be a fighter as well. There was never any doubt in the minds of everyone that he was going to do it. Single.
He landed that front leg kick.
Under 90 seconds remains in round 3. Then we'll head to the championship round. Good knee
by BJ.
Penn.
A good right hand by BJ.
BJ looking to chase Kenny down. Florian gets away.
BJ's still got that explosive speed, and you saw that in that right hand attempt. He is measuring himself. I mean, he is definitely slowing down, but it could be that he's pacing himself. And again, Kenny, right? Same strategy. Press him up against the cage, shoulder pressure.
Is it working at all, though, Joe?
It's got to be wearing him down a little bit. I mean, it's tough. Kenny is driving his shoulder into the rib cage and the gut of B.J. Penn, just making him work.
Maybe the better question might be, though, can you win a round with this technique?
Oh, look at that. B.J. tries to hit the switch.
And B.J. firing away again.
Kenny got those shots landed on him, but he moved away. Which shows me he doesn't want to stand in exchange with BJ. He's fighting intelligently. He's not fighting with his ego. When he gets tagged like that, he's just trying to get out of there. But he's showing some excellent ability to absorb the powerful punches of B.J. Penn.
Kenny with the Superman punch. Final seconds of the round.
I want to see more kicks.
And there it is. Kenny's going to come out and be, I think, very versatile with his striking and push up the tempo a little bit here in round 4.
Put up. There you go, JD. Recover, bro. Look at, he keeps on trying to tire you out. He keeps on trying to grab you and think he's getting you tired. We got all day. Let's try to get more than one explosion, though. See the way he exploded right over there? When the opportunity's presented itself a couple times, take advantage of it. He misses, he pays. All right? You get him up against the fence, he pays. All right? Make him pay. You got explosions all day long. All right? Blow it out. Recover. There you go. Blow it out.
The pressure on him. You got to win these last 2 rounds, Kenny. Don't let it slip away, Kenny.
You at least got one of them.
Kenny, you need to put pressure on him. Okay. I'm telling you right now.
Stop the head clinch. Stop the tie clinch. He's getting out of it every time.
Use your legs, but wait till he comes to you, then fire.
Kenny might need to go into desperation mode here. I mean, Joe, we've gotten burned many times, as have our fighters, trying to figure out the scorecard, but
Well, this is Kenny's second venture into the championship rounds, the first being the title fight with Sean Shirk, which he lost.
That was a nasty fight. Big cut opened up on Shirk's head by the elbow of Kenny Florian.
Kenny's attacking now, he got caught.
Kenny's got great movement.
Yeah, he's very intelligent in the way he moves away.
See, you heard Mark Delagrati, true Mark from Sit Your Tongue, say, let's see the legs go, let the legs go. That's a definitive advantage in your arsenal.
Yeah, I believe that's his biggest advantage.
This, and again, I mean, Joe, we've seen a lot, but does this score points?
Well,
does
he
this
is
win
in
rounds?
the advantage in that he is pressing B.J. Penn up
Octagon
against
control.
the cage. But it's not as big as a takedown. It's not as big as a strike. It can all be negated with one excellent combination by B.J. You know, he can push him up against the cage all day. He steps away. B.J. cracks him with the right hand. B.J. wins that exchange. And B.J. just threw a good uppercut there. Now B.J.
with the takedown here in round 4. Huge takedown for B.J. Penn.
B.J. looking to pass.
Kenny's got great jiu-jitsu, but so does Penn. Both Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belts.
I believe Penn has a significant advantage in the jiu-jitsu. I think
over most of the world, right?
Yeah. B.J. is a guy who won the world championships 3 years in the training. I mean, when they call him the prodigy, that's not a goof like, you know, some guys, they like to call them the pit bull or the monster or whatever. This is the real prodigy. I mean, he really is a special athlete, and especially with his jiu-jitsu. No disrespect to any pit bulls or monsters out there.
Kevin Randleman,
I love
Thiago
Kevin
Alves.
Randleman, and I love Thiago Alves. Is that a loss for adjectives?
That's fair, though. Thiago is a legit pit bull.
What about Kevin?
It's fair.
He's a monster.
No, he's Ken Flo, though. Oh, Kevin is the monster, no question.
Okay, and so far, B.J. is still in Kenny Florian's half guard and has not been able to pass yet. He's putting his hands down on the thighs. He's looking to pass, and the audience cheers for that, which shows you how educated mixed martial arts fans are now. Kenny's holding on to that ankle now. That is the last thing keeping him in there. Kenny just got hit with some big shots. So here's a perfect example we were talking about earlier. What Kenny did earlier by pressing B.J. up against the cage, gone now. Means nothing. Especially now.
He's got the mount. Penn looking to finish the fight. Florian's in big trouble here. B.J. Penn.
Kenny's got to explode. He's got to roll out of this.
Looking to choke Kenny Florian out.
What B.J.'s going to try to do is going to try to control one of his arms with his legs. Notice how he's doing that? Using his left arm. He wants to control Kenny's left arm.
Right back to the mount and the elbow.
Kenny's got to explode out of this.
Just under 90 seconds remains in the 4th round.
He used that arm to try to take away the base.
Oh, look at the kicks.
That's old school Hickson Gracie style.
Oh, he's got the choke.
Sucked it in.
Penn looking to choke out Florian. B.J. Penn looking to remain the champion. It is all over. B.J. Penn has defeated Kenny Florian.
Outstanding performance. That's what I was saying about the significant advantage that B.J. has on the ground. Once B.J. got that fight to the ground, it was all him.
Two of the classiest guys in UFC history. Fight replay all night long, brought to you by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
And here you see it. Once Penn has such incredible strength on the ground, his jiu-jitsu is so solid and technical. Once he got a hold of Kenny's back, it was just a systematic breakdown of Kenny's defenses until he finally got the arm underneath the neck, sunk in the choke, and retained his lightweight crown. Huge, huge victory for B.J. Penn.
B.J. Penn, Kenny Florian. The fight finished in the 4th round by submission. BJ just said that Kenny were friends again. And remember, Kenny Florian, a few years back, went to Hawaii to train with BJ Penn. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Mergliata has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 54 seconds of the 4th round. Declaring the winner by tap out due to a rear naked choke, and still the undisputed UFC lightweight champion of the world, the prodigy, B.J.
The prodigy remains the champion. Here's Joe.
All right, I'm here with the winner, B.J. Penn. First of all, B.J., congratulations on your victory. Congratulations on finishing off Kenny Florian. Give us your thoughts on the fight.
When I woke up this morning, I thought, I've been in this thing for 9 years. What the hell am I doing to myself? And then I realized this is my dream since I was a kid, to come here and perform for the fans. I love you guys. I love the fans.
BJ, phenomenal performance tonight. I've been following your training on your website. You've undergone a very unusual strength and conditioning program for this fight. Tell us how much of an effect that had on your performance tonight.
I love the fans. I love Hawaii. If you want to know anything else, go to bjpenn.com.
Fair enough. BJ Penn, ladies and gentlemen.
Kenny Florian defeated here this evening by the prodigy B.J. Penn.
I know that. It was awkward for me, bro. I know that.
Mark Delagrati congratulates the victor, who remains the lightweight champion. Kenny Florian, disappointed, his heart broken, but still one of the greatest in the world, a warrior, and one of the classiest men in mixed martial arts. The end of the fight. Kenny knew he was in trouble. Shots to the midsection. Florian, a great jiu-jitsu guy, but with the legs wrapped around and the choke in deep, Kenny had no choice but to tap. And he loses on his opportunity once again to become the world champion.
You know, I hope that this fight inspires BJ to continue to fight at 155 pounds. I mean, we can't stress enough how significant a size advantage it is to go up to 170 pounds and fight a guy who cuts down, who's a guy with low body fat who cuts down from 185, 190. It's just so huge, especially with a guy that's that talented as George St. Pierre. I think at 155, BJ is incredibly special and one of the greatest fighters ever.
I think Diego Sanchez will keep him motivated. Speaking of lightweights, earlier tonight, a good matchup in the lightweight division. One of the most popular members of Team Sarah on Season 6 of The Ultimate Fighter, the Aussie, George Soteropoulos, takes on Season 8's George Roop. The Aussie
You ready, George?
against the American.
Let's do this.
First round of this fight brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide. Now available at tapout.com. Soteropoulos in the blue trunks. Red and black trunks for George Roop.
Good head movement by Soteropoulos right off the bat. He's trying to close that distance and get a hold of Roop. Good right hand by Roop.
Roop looked very good in the fight against Dave Kaplan. Was very, very aggressive like we see here with his striking.
He's a very tall fighter as well, Mike. Got an excellent reach. Real tall for 55. Oh, he made a mistake there, though. He made a mistake, and George is all over. Look at that pass. Look at that.
Nicely done.
That is high-level stuff right there. The way he just rotated his hips and slipped over that knee, man, that's a thing of beauty.
Getting control early here on the ground.
That's some serious side control right there.
Is Soteropoulos, and Roop may be in trouble early, Joe.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. George Soteropoulos is very heavy on top, and he is immediately looking to close the show. He's not going to stall out from here. You're talking about a real legit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, solid mount.
Got the mount, got it closed.
He is running right through George Roop's defense right now.
Full mount.
He's controlling that right arm, or excuse me, the left arm.
In the first 90 seconds for George Soteropoulos. He has total control of George Roop's hips here, Joe.
Yeah, he's locked on. He's got his legs crossed underneath him. I mean, his mount is very, very solid. His entire top game is outstanding. And George Roop is in deep trouble. Look, notice how he's getting higher and higher. You got to be careful. That's what I was going to say.
Nicely done.
Over.
Roop pushing forward quickly.
You can't get too high with the mount.
Ducking under, looking to get it back down to the ground.
Take it down to the ground, but Roop doesn't want any part of it now.
Nicely done, George Roop.
Soteropoulos immediately looking to grab a leg. And if you notice, the reason why they went to the ground the first fight is that George Roop made a mistake, threw a kick, and got taken down. But as far as like trying to just grab a hold of him and take him down, Roop has been able to defend that.
Spinning back kick by Soteropoulos. Oh my, great combination. Roop is rocked.
Roop is in trouble, Mike.
1-2 delivered with full authority.
And Soteropoulos is mixing it up to the body as well. He's clinching him. Okay, now he's got him up against the cage. Roop is trying to clear his head here. He got tagged with some pretty big shots.
Just over 2 minutes remains in round one.
Soteropoulos is going to go around the back door. He's clinching him, and now he's just going to drag him to the ground here if he can break his base. Roop is doing a good job, though. Good job of trying to stay up. Soteropoulos is going to try to get behind him, and there he does. And drag him to the ground, and there it is.
He has him out. Now let's see if he works the back.
Under control, one hook in. He's going to roll him, Mike. He's going to roll him and trying to get that second hook in. But notice how George Roop's keeping that right leg very close to his body. He knows that, okay, now he's on top in half guard. He's, like I said, these gentlemen have chained together many times, and I'm sure Roop is aware. Look at that. Man, that pass is beautiful.
Good dominance on the ground by George Soteropoulos.
The guard is just a thing of beauty. To someone who really appreciates Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that is just very, very technical stuff.
One of about 10 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts from Australia.
Yeah, I remember George back when he was training at the Machados when he was a purple belt, and he was very good back then. He's controlling that left arm of George Roop. Roop is in big trouble. Kimura is coming up. He's got his hands clasped together. He's spinning it. Oh, he uses it to take the back. I like it. I like it.
One hook in.
He has a very multifaceted attack, and he chains submissions together. He goes for one thing, you attempt to defend it, and he's going to go for another. Having both hooks in here, very good position for George Soteropoulos. He's got an arm around the neck. He keeps going back and forth, switching it to an arm bar.
What a great pace.
He's got to be careful that George Roop doesn't pop out, though. George Roop popped out.
That's the second time he's popped out, Joe.
Yeah. He's got to be careful of the ground and pound here.
You said Soteropoulos got too high the first time. How come Roop was able to pop out that time?
Well, it's you know, when you go into that position, you got to be very careful that the guy doesn't explode underneath you. You got to really make sure that you have control of his body when you attempt that. There you go. When they're real slippery like this, you know, you're all sweated up. It's just real hard to hold those positions. You got to be very careful, and he's moving very fast, going from position to position, and he might be rushing it a tad. Now, check out this mount, though, Mike. Look at this. Gets that knee across, and Roop is trying to arch and explode, but just too much power. The bridge is just not going to get him off. Now, here's the punches of Soteropoulos. He lands a clean right hand, and then there's a nice left hook behind it, and another right hand. And Roop was rocked by that. Now, here, it looked like he was going for the Kimura, but he went to the back instead. He gets one hook in, rolls it, got a second hook in, and when he went for the armbar, when he went to try to transition to the armbar, that's when he lost it.
You won that round, all right?
What?
You got a mount, you got a couple punches, okay? You were busier, you moved more, that's what I want.
I want that guy's Kool-Aid. Give me a cup of it. I want to see the world through rose-colored glasses. I have no idea why he thought, I mean, he's talking to George Roop about, you know, trying to get him excited and get him confident, but you can't lie to a fighter, and there's no way George Roop won that round. It's virtually impossible.
Okay, guys, round two.
Round two.
Ready, come on. Let's do it.
The Aussie and the American. Soteropoulos takes the center of the octagon quickly. Good hand position by Soteropoulos.
Roop stands high. He stands very tall, Mike, to take advantage of the fact that he's a tall fighter with a good reach. But in doing that, he leaves his head straight up, and that's one of the reasons why Soteropoulos is able to connect so many times with punches.
George has that chin tucked nicely.
George Soteropoulos.
Correct.
Knee attempt by Roop.
And a knee thrown back by Soteropoulos. Soteropoulos ate a few on the way in.
Yeah, Roop's trying. Takes him down.
Soteropoulos halfway there,
Watch
Joe.
this pass. Watch that left leg just right to mount. Man, he's not playing games now. He's not going to lose this mount.
Don't hold that fence. Don't hold that fence. Let's go.
If he can get his opponent up against the fence, he's going to take away the ability to spin out of this, too. They're asking George Roop to wall walk.
Yeah, but you know what? Soteropoulos is very aware of what he's trying to do, and he's in a dominant position. He's got his weight on him. It's going to be a long journey for George Roop here.
He's gotten out of bad positions not once but twice.
Mike. He's getting high again. He's looking to isolate an arm, and in doing so, he's getting his hips up very high. Now he's down and flat. The higher you get in the mount, the more submissions are available, but the harder it is to control the guy.
Roop's halfway out, Joe. Soteropoulos lost the mount.
He's got to make sure that Roop doesn't get back to his feet, though. But he's also got to be very careful. Oh, look at that.
Right back to side control.
This guy might have some of the best passes I've ever seen in UFC. He's got that left arm, looking for the Kimura, Mike. He's popping it behind his back.
It's all over! George Soteropoulos with the Kimura and the victory here tonight.
Very, very nice performance by George Soteropoulos. Incredible passing. I mean, great ground game, but the passing was just out of this world.
Our fight rate play brought to you by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability. He exploded on that submission.
Yeah, I mean, here he's on top, and George Roop is trying to keep him from passing, but Soteropoulos is just so smooth on the ground. And immediately he's in side control, what we call twister side control, with his back turned towards George's head. And he locks a hold of that Kimura, and he's in a perfect position for it here. Very high, and George immediately taps. You can see it again here. As soon as he pops it up, and then twists it right behind his back and up towards his head. And George Roop, just no options. He had to tap.
Here's Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 59 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by tap out due to a Kimura, George Soteropoulos.
So officially, the Aussie goes to 3-0 in the UFC, wins his lightweight debut. Submission of the night brought to you by Tap Out, an expression of combat known worldwide, now available at tapout.com.
And B.J. Penn just completely dominated Kenny Florian once he got him on the ground. Finished with his specialty, the rear naked choke, for the submission of the night. Outstanding performance by the Prodigy.
So he retains his lightweight title. Now we take a look at our BSN finish first turning point of the night. BSN, of course, the official supplement provider of the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
And here you see Johnny Hendricks and Amir Sadala. Johnny caught Amir with a big uppercut, finished him off. Very, very controversial stoppage, but an awesome performance by Johnny Hendricks and a huge victory for him in his UFC debut.
BSN, the makers of the Ultra Premium Syntha 6 RTD, the official protein beverage of the UFC. Officially, both champions winners tonight. One in a title fight, one in a non-title fight, but B.J. Penn leaves no doubt in anyone's mind that he is truly the best lightweight fighter in the world.
Without a doubt, one of the best performances of his career when his back is up against the wall against a very capable challenger. B.J. proved that he is the best in this division. I mean, just an awesome performance. His strength and conditioning program really showed. It really showed his confidence, and you know, once he got him on the ground, he finished him off.
He certainly did. Congratulations to B.J. Penn and to Anderson Silva. A great night tonight in Philadelphia, and we got more coming to you this month. There is no doubt that the action continues inside the octagon.
Here's what's coming up inside the Octagon, brought to you by Zenergy, powered by Zions, the great-tasting, sugar-free premium energy drink. On Saturday, August 29th, it's UFC 102, Couture versus Nogueira, presented by Harley-Davidson from Rose Garden Arena in Portland, Oregon. Randy, the Natural Couture, faces off against Antonio Minotauro Nogueira. The Dean of Mean, Keith Jardine, fights Thiago Silva, and Damian Maia meets Nate, the Great Marquardt. Live on pay-per-view in North America, check your listings internationally. Then on Wednesday, September 16th, it's UFC Fight Night Live from Cox Arena in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Gray the Bully Maynard faces Roger El Matador Huerta, and Nate Diaz takes on Melvin, the Young Assassin Gallard. Tickets are still available. Go to UFC.com for more information. Then only 3 nights later, on Saturday, September 19th, it's UFC 103, Franklin versus Belfort, presented by Tequila Cazadores from American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Rich Ace Franklin will take on the Phenom, Vitor Belfort. Mirko Krokop will face Junior Dos Santos, and Mike Quick Swick fights Martin, the Hitman Campman. Tickets are still available. Go to UFC.com for more information. And that's what's coming up inside the Octagon, brought to you by Zenergy, powered by Zions, the great-tasting, sugar-free premium energy drink.
And coming up right now, live from Philadelphia, the UFC post-fight press conference on UFC.com, live streaming brought to you by Burger King. The executive producers of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Frank Fertitta III, Lorenzo Fertitta, and UFC President Dana White. Our supervising producer is Craig Borsari. Tonight's show produced by Bruce Connell, directed by Anthony Pasquale Giordano. Alan Connell, our technical producer. Joe Silva, the Vice President of Talent Relations. Anderson Silva is still the most lethal striker in mixed martial arts today. He takes care of Forrest Griffin. He'll move back to look to defend his title. Speaking of defending his title, the Prodigy took on Kenny Florian. And in the end, here in Philadelphia, B.J. Penn reminded us why he is truly one of the greatest fighters in the history of this sport, as he finishes Florian by rear naked choke in round number 4. For my partner Joe Rogan, our entire crew, Mike Goldberg, saying so long until next time. We see you right back here inside the Octagon.